What's going on, everybody?
What's up, guys?
Welcome back to our fourth podcast episode.
Yeah.
For our channel, CHG podcast here, where we kind of just discuss. Let me finish the intro. Where we just discuss all things gaming, big or small, anything in the middle, and we just kind of banter off like the idiots we are, just giving our opinions and pieces on things.
Thank you guys for watching it. Thank you guys for watching it. I've been seeing it get a good 20-something views. So
yeah, that's normally what we get on most of the time. But I will say the podcast is what brings out. I've noticed like certain people will. Sorry, no, let me rephrase this. The podcast episodes will bring out people who don't normally watch our stuff. That's how I want to say it.
Yeah, and the comments are more like engaging. I love, like, don't get me wrong, I love all the comments on all the videos, but it definitely seems like people are engaging with it more. Talking about what we're talking about, stuff like that.
I mean, but it makes it easier too, right? I mean, because
yeah.
We're actually are just talking. I mean, I know you and I talk when we do our videos, and I talk with Travis, but it's not the same, like, because there's a game.
No, for sure.
This is now just us.
Yeah.
Agreed. And people did like our last week. People do like last week. They liked the Blizzard topic. Nice. Some people did comment back on it. I actually had a few people reach out to me personally in Discord DMs saying that they do like our podcast, like they have enjoyed it so far. So you guys can thank David for that. By the way, this has been his brainchild that he's wanted to do
forever.
Since we started the channel. It is my fault that it never happened. But so what actually was a good thing to do, because he and I used to do this thing called Bro Loves, which when he moved to Texas initially 3 years ago, the way we started to keep in contact was to do these what we called Bro Loves, where we would basically, it was a monologue where we would just talk, say hi to the person, to each other, tell them what's going on in life, and then just talk about something going on that we notice in in gaming or whatever, and then that person, the other one, would watch it and then make a video in response to it. And then we would that's how we communicated, but while also keeping it on the channel. But now with the podcast, we can take some of those topics and just make them podcast episodes.
Yeah.
So that's how we can repurpose some of those Bro Loves, because they were really kind of just meant for him and I, even though they were for public view. But now we can mix both of them together. So, the power of quarantine and COVID made all these things a reality.
Just learning. Yeah. It's been fun.
I don't know how long Zencastr was a thing, but there's no one knew about it before COVID. That's for damn sure. I can tell you that.
Well, so yeah, there's all sorts of different like media stuff popping up because of COVID.
And Discord, I don't even think was an app until COVID started.
Oh, it was definitely an app before COVID started.
It might not have been. I don't know. I don't know.
It definitely was. It absolutely was.
Did you know about it? Did you know about it beforehand?
Yes.
Shut up.
Because there's been a few times I've been like on Apex, and my the random group that I would run with was like not talking on mic, so they sent me like a message like, "Hey, do you have Discord? Because we're on Discord. That's how we're talking." And I'm like, "Oh shit, no, I don't have Discord." So,
God damn it. Yeah. Well, look at him being a Debbie Downer, ruining my momentum. I will actually say though that I actually knew of Zoom before COVID was a thing. At a previous job that I was at, they used Zoom for communications. Like that's actually how I did my interviews was through Zoom.
Yeah, I mean, like,
that's mine.
Zoom came out of nowhere. And this is not the topic for today, guys.
Yeah, sorry, we're getting sidetracked. Yeah. We're getting sidetracked. All right, guys, sorry about that. Sorry for our super monologue. Anyways, we're gonna start off as we did last episode, talking about what we're playing. I think I went first last time. So, David, what are you playing?
Yeah, frick, I'm playing something new finally. So I'm still playing. I'm still playing MLB because, like, that's, like I said, it's just my time waster. Like,
it'll always be your passive game. That's your passive game. You just play when you want to chill.
Pretty much. I currently made 2 fake Japanese players that I'm playing with.
You can't let go of Ichiro. Is that right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, and Otani is just a fucking beast, and he doesn't play right in the game, so I had to make. Anyway, but what I'm actually like, the new game I'm playing is called Rogue Legacy, and it's a rogue, it's a roguelike, where like the twist is that each time you die, the next time you play, you're playing as the descendant of the person who just died. Which it doesn't do, like, it's shallow in that aspect. Like they don't do too much with it. But what they do is every generation you can like pick through 3, and you get a random class, and you can buy more classes, but it's always random to pick through the 3. And then there's like different traits that you have. So sometimes you have gigantism, so your character's like 3 times the size, or like twice the size. Or sometimes
like, be like Andre the Giant. Shoot.
Or like sometimes you have dwarfism, so you're like really tiny, but you move faster. So there's stuff like that.
Even true though.
Yeah, but whatever. Whatever. And then but then there's crazy ones, like you could be colorblind, and so everything's black and white. The worst one, and I never choose this one, and thankfully I haven't had a time where all 3 of them have this, but Vertigo, where you play upside down. It's the worst. Yeah.
Play upside down?
Yeah. And there's like nearsightedness, so that it's like if you're nearsighted, the screen on the edges are blurry. There's one where you can't see in 3D, so anytime you turn around, it's like Paper Mario. It's just like
whoop, whoop, whoop. Is that a real stigmatism?
I don't think so.
I wonder if that's a real stigmatism. Because everything else you said is that's not real, but not be able to see 3D like a 3D plane. You can't look at things in a 3D plane. That's crazy.
So like there's a whole bunch of stuff. It's basically it's a basic roguelike with a cool twist. The combat is decent. I'm really looking forward to Hades coming out the 13th, which is tomorrow. Yes. Okay.
From today. Yeah, because we're recording on the 12th, everybody.
Yeah, whatever. So when Hades comes out, I'm fuck roguelike legacy. I'm going straight
in the garbage.
Yeah, I'm going straight. And I paid $13 for that game, but I'm going straight to Hades. Dude, I'm about to go off on Hades. But anyway, so
on the Game Pass and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's on the Game Pass and all that
stuff. Yes, sir.
Well, that's good to hear. I mean, that twist is pretty dope.
Yeah, it was fun. That's why I bought it.
I honestly probably wouldn't even mind.
I'm being told to be quiet.
He was getting. He started talking about roguelikes and he got too excited.
I got excited. All right. What are you playing?
Well, anyway, speaking of something like, I am playing a new game myself. I have taken a break from Crash for a little while. I tried my hand. I tried my hand at one of the time trials, and I was like, "This is going to be a huge problem for me," because they have this new. So in the previous games, you had a dash that you get after you beat the game. It was just a dash instead of just his little jog is a dash that he gets to have, and you just held R2 and you just go, and it was really awesome. But now they changed that, got rid of that, and they're like, let's take away that, and let's replace it with something even worse. But we still want you to be just as fast with this worse thing. So it's a triple spin, and so how you do is you need to press box normal spin button at certain intervals. They're quick intervals, but certain intervals, and you'll go faster with each spin. But you have to keep doing that. It only works in sets of 3. So once you spin like 1, 2, 3, and then you'll go for that whatever time. You have to keep doing that over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks. It's terrible. Everybody hates it because it's like, why did you take something away so simple and good as the shoes? It just goes back to the point of the game is just made hard artificially.
So like here's my thing. To me, that sounds more skill based.
No. Shut up. No, it's not.
I'm just saying.
Go play it. No. That's what you want to think.
Hear me out.
That's what you want to think.
Hear me out.
I'm not going to hear you out. I'm not going to hear you out. No.
On the
anything
shoes,
you say to me, I'm going to disagree. I'm disagreeing.
On the shoes, it's a passive buff, right? Like you don't have to do anything.
You have to hold on the button the whole time.
Oh no! But with this one,
and also it's a constant speed.
You have to get the timing and everything right for it to work. It sounds skill based to me.
The game's already too hard. Why did you add another layer on it? That's like that's basically the Vertigo for your roguelike. Anyways, guys. So, beside the Crash mumbo jumbo, I am playing a new game called Remnant from the Ashes. Have you heard of it?
Yes.
Came out 2 years ago?
Yeah. I tried playing it. It's on Game Pass. It's just, I don't know.
I never heard of it. I checked it out. I saw it was like a third-person game I was like, okay, cool. And then it was on sale on the store, like, I don't know, $20 or something stupid like that. It wasn't too bad. And I was like, let me give it a shot. Something different, something I haven't done before. I didn't know it was a Souls like until I looked it up again, and I was like, oh, okay, it's a Souls like. I played Neo. I love Neo, and I did Lords of the Fallen, which is which is like a Souls like for beginners. So I was like, let's try to give it a shot. I beat it yesterday. It actually, it ends up ending way too soon. Like, I was a little surprised. Like, there's only five worlds in the game. And the worlds aren't as full to the brim of things to do like a Souls game would normally be. Um, but also, um, it also has traits, but those are buffs. They're not like things your person can have. Um, and it's just like they're all over the place. So, like there's like health, increase your health, increase your stamina, and it goes all over the place. Like you can even like reduce the amount of like elemental resist, or no, sorry, increase your elemental resistances, increase your amount of experience you get, things like that. It's like everything, every facet of the game. However, the weird thing about the game, which I didn't understand, was that when you die, so this game, you don't, when you kill a game, when you kill someone like in Neo, Bloodborne, Souls, maybe Sekiro, I haven't played it, but I imagine, when you kill someone, you see a little, you see your souls accumulation build up. Like, boom, you get extra souls, and then when you die, of course, you have to go get them back again. That doesn't happen in this game. When you die, you keep everything you got. I mean, if you use something like a consumable, that's gone. Yeah. But like your experience, you don't have to go get like a soul back. You don't have to go get your experience back or your whatever. You don't have to get anything back. So that was really interesting because like it like I guess it does free you up to be able to like go in more recklessly and not have to worry so much about like every little step could be your last and you have to make up so much progress again. I mean, the checkpoints are few and far between, so sometimes you will have to make up quite a bit of ground again, which I did a few times. But the end game is so much easier than the beginning. And I don't know if that's the case for all Souls games, but like
depends on when you're playing.
I got this probably I wouldn't know, but I got this I found this beam, like this alien type of beam rifle, right? I found that in the third world, I want to say. And I kept that gun the rest of the game because it was so OP. It was ridiculous. Like it just fires a steady stream of just of a particle, like just a particle laser beam at enemies, and it was just dropping them like flies. Like I was still dying, and it doesn't have like the biggest ammo capacity, but like I was just like, why would I ever want to use anything else? Like why would I? It doesn't even matter. Like this gun is too good, so I kept that gun the whole game. I beat the final boss with it. Like, I mean, I upgraded, of course, but like I was able to beat like the game. It's interesting twist on the Souls like because it features heavy on gunplay. Gunplay is like I think that's what they were going for because like you start off with a pistol and like a rifle and stuff. I was using my melee earlier in like the early game, but once I got that beam rifle, I was just like, why would I ever do that again? And then when I noticed that like my melee was doing nothing, you know, the DPS was just abysmal. So it's like I might as well just grab the gun, keep the gun going. And enemies drop ammo fairly regularly, and like you can get ammo boxes, you can buy them, you can buy all your like rations and other things that you need for pretty cheap, honestly. So like I never really, I mean, there were some bosses I kept dying to a few times, but honestly, like I was like that game, I think this game was actually easier than Lords of the Fallen was. And they say Lords of the Fallen is like the entry game you want to get into if you want to get into Souls like games. I think this is the different one.
I think like the problem with these Souls like games is that for Souls to do what they did, for Souls and Neo to do what they did and make a truly like hard game, your game mechanics have to be super solid. Like it has to be, fluid, and the levels have to be well thought out. The enemies have to be well done, to be able to allow you to have this difficulty that these games are known for. And I think when you have a game like Remnant from Ashes or Lords of the Fallen, where the gameplay isn't necessarily as smooth, they can't be hard too, because if you're dealing with the game being not as good, and also um, that the enemies being hard, it's just
Huh.
that's my thought on it.
I think you should go talk to Toys for Bob about Crash Bandicoot 4 and tell them your little piece, because I agree, but I don't think they got the memo on that. But that's just me being salty. Anyways,
You've been hurt.
yeah,
You've
I
been
mean,
hurt.
I don't know how much. I don't know. Oh, I've been more than hurt. I don't know how much the game initially retailed for. Again, I bought it on sale, and
It may
it
have
might have
been
had a price
50.
reduction. A price
Can't
reduction.
remember.
I'm sure it wasn't 60 for sure, but if it was like 40, I imagine 40 would have been a good price initially. Like as I'm playing, I'm like, yeah, $40 is about what I would imagine, and you can tell it's a budget title by the graphics, by the character animations. I mean, the dialogue is good. Like the actual performances of the dialogue from characters is good, but um, everything else is like not that impressive, especially for how late it came into the the last console generation. But yeah, the
$39.99.
price. That's what I thought. $40. Yeah, that's about what I would have been okay with. If I had paid 60, I would have been a little. I would have felt a little cheated. But
See, I just
I
don't
mean, I
like
agree.
paying. I just don't like playing
Oh,
bad games. So
I wouldn't call this bad though. I mean, now if I want to be all stingy and look at it in the realms of just a Souls like, okay, yeah, it's on the lower
I'd
end
rather
quality of
play
Souls
Souls
likes.
again.
Um, but since I'm not like embedded into the Souls Souls fan base, and I'm just like I only play Souls and Soulsborne and that's blah blah blah. Like I'm not like that guy. I want to play Souls
I
eventually, but
mean,
I will. But since I'm
I'll
playing
play.
this, it's
I'll
not a
play
bad game.
Neo. Neo was good.
No, yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, but it's just,
I tried it and I just didn't
I
like
mean,
it.
and Lords of the Fallen wasn't good either. Wasn't the best game either. The final boss is completely like ridiculous. You have to glitch basically to beat him, but it's still a fun game. I had fun with it. I'm gonna get the rest of the trophies and get the DLC. So I'm enjoying it, but it's because
Segue.
I don't have the lens of a Soulsborne player. So,
You
anyways,
missed the
we're good at
perfect. You
transition.
missed the perfect segue
Well, I was still talking. I would wait.
because
Why?
you said
Why?
DLC.
Oh no, because we have to do the random
Oh, okay,
question.
that's right.
So it's not a segue, buddy. Anywho, so we're gonna transition now to our random question, fun question of the day, and I propose this to David, and I'll answer first. It is name a game or games that you love that is for everyone else. Everyone hates it, or they think it sucks, or like was critically panned across the board. And I have two games that come to mind. And comment below if you have a game that you like, a guilty pleasure game or something like that. Is just it just tanked, but you love it and no one can tell you otherwise. My first game is actually an old game from the PS1 era. It's called Extreme 3 or 3 Extreme, however you want to read the title. But it's basically, like extreme sports. So we got, skateboarding, cycle, bike riding, inline skating, or BMX, I should say, BMX and inline skating. Um, and you choose like just all the characters are all just made up, or I think they're made up, but all the brands of the equipment is all real brands. So they got Monster is in there, Zero's in there, K2's in there, all big brands that either were around or still around today. So that's cool. And there's like a good 6, 7 levels, but they remix them as you go along the career mode. Um, I looked it up one day to see what the reviews were, and it got like no higher than 4, like critically. Like it's a, and I always wondered why, but then I played it again. I'm like, I could see absolutely the frame rate is abysmal. It's super bare bones. It's super lackluster. Um, like, like the way you get money to buy better like skateboards or skates or whatever is basically not by how you win, but by how many tricks you do and like your total point score. And then that gets added up as you play along each of the levels, and it just adds to your grand total. And then that allows you to buy more equipment. It's a very weird way of going about buying equipment. It's like, why would you just give me a certain purse that I win for getting first, and just trickle it down if I got second or third. It's like, no, even if you win, you still have to keep like doing, like, you have to do better than win. You have to win and get gnarly points, bro. And do a bunch of 360 flips, dude. Or like double tail whips, guy. You gotta make sure you do that like crazy on all the levels to get enough points to buy better equipment. Anyways, it's a bad game, but I love it. I still have a copy of it, physical copy of it, and I played it on the channel with Travis some years ago, and I will play that shit again. It has hella secret characters. You could play as Frankenstein, Frankenstein's wife, and a mummy. You could play as 3 different RC cars, and they are literally RC cars. Especially even with like their own little like has all that. And you could play as 3 different aliens, and they have like alien names like Geep and Yub. Yeah, I'm not kidding.
Glad you're proud.
Anyways, that's the first one. Oh, I love that game. Second game is more recent, from 2010, and it's Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 2. Now, this is a little bit different. Some people, because the game still does have fans, but I know critically it did not do well.
Just because of the
that's
initial
why there's been no sequel since.
Response to everything.
I mean, I can see why, though. I can see why.
It's a good game.
I mean, the story was convoluted.
The story was non-existent,
especially when you look. But it was also convoluted when you try to look at it, especially if you, because like the first and second game both had good and evil endings, and so it was like which, if you, it depends on how you want to look at each of the endings that you get, but then like the continuity that they give in the game is all types of weird. Like you're a clone of the first dude, but yet he still acts like he's the real dude. It's Tropic Thunder. I'm the dude playing the dude disguised as the other dude. It's like like that kind of situation. So, but it's still, the reason why I like it is because I felt like, especially for the PS3 era, it has some of the best graphics.
That was really good.
I've ever seen. I still think it holds. If I were to play that on the channel today, which I might one day do, the graphics would still be impressive today, especially when you look at it in the lens of 2010. The story was weird. The combat was repetitive. Like when you killed like the bigger monsters, you did the same QTEs over and over again, and like there was no difference in their animations, or like maybe like you could kill them in a different way, blow them in a different way. Nope, nothing different. It was dope as shit to use two lightsabers though.
Yeah,
that was awesome. And the steelbook case is one of my favorite steelbook cases that I own. However, though, there's a little bit of saltiness with personally. There was a pre-order bonus from GameStop that allowed you to get what they called a mall killer skin, which was a hybrid of Darth Maul and Star Killer, and he was like black and white, and he had like the horns, and I think he had like 4 arms or something stupid like that. He looked, and his lightsabers were like, I think, white with like black accents on the sides. It was so fucking dope. I don't know what happened to my receipt, because GameStop sometimes puts the codes on the receipts or something. I don't know what the hell happened to it, but I lost it. I don't know. Like, I never got that skin, and I've been upset ever since, because it's the coolest goddamn skin I've ever seen in my life. And Teenage Arden never got to have that joy in his life, apparently. So I've been broken ever since. Anyways, that's my games. What about you,
so I was thinking about this a lot, and like I was thinking like, I guess some Maddens, because I play the Madden series way too long. Like even after it.
Oh man, take your pick, right?
Well, even at like well into it being just terrible. But what I was kind of saying with the Remnant from Ashes is that I don't play, like, I only play good games. Like I don't waste my time. Like if it's not a game that that I feel good about, I just don't play it. Or like Remnant from Ashes, I played the first 2 levels and was like, why am I playing this when I could be playing Dark Souls or Neo?
Well, bro, but like we're talking like back in the day, like I didn't know Extreme 3 was bad until after I looked it up, like years later.
That
never happened to you?
Like I guess like the only game I can maybe think about, like a game that I loved, but that no one really knows about, is a game on the PlayStation 2. I think it's a PlayStation 2 game. It could be a PlayStation 1 game. Called One, ONE. And it was a a twin stick slash side-scrolling shooter. It was super obscure, but I love that game. That's the only game I can really think about. What I can say, and this is a little, I know this isn't exactly your question, but what I can say is I've watched a lot of anime that people don't like, that I just have a really fond memories of. So like,
and are we talking like anime from back in the day or anime
everything
from recent?
like, especially back in the day.
Okay.
Like there's not a lot I can remember too much, but like there's an anime, oh now I'm blanking on the name, where he like can pull a weapon out of the person's soul, and it like manifests like the nature of their soul, and he like leads a group of kids. Oh man, I can't remember.
That sounds like a game, honestly. I mean, that sounds legit like a game.
It kind of does, and I can't remember. It's you know what? I'll have to look it up. But I watch a lot more anime than I do play video games, to be honest. And I tend to watch a lot of like one-off, one-season animes that just don't go anywhere.
Oh, I hate those. I hate those so much, because when they're good, and that happens, it's like a hole in your heart that never gets filled.
All the fun and name, but like I just like I said, I just don't play. Like if a game isn't up to snuff, I just stop playing it. I mean, I'm not like you. You finish games that you start, regardless of how you feel about them, and I just drop them. Like if I don't like them, I drop them. Like I'm not gonna waste my time with it.
You know, I'm not even gonna bother trying to somehow twist that to like I finished all my games, because honestly, I don't know if that's a good thing. Because some of these games I've played, man, some of the games I have played have, oh man, been so bad. But at least you and I had the glorious opportunity to play Rogue Warrior together, and that was a god awful game. I might play that with Travis, honestly, for the channel. Also, Travis agrees the exact same way. He tells me all the time that he only plays good games. He doesn't waste time.
I don't know. You guys played.
I guess I'm just like, no, on his own, for his own time, not with me on the channel.
I found the anime Guilty Crown. Guilty Crown.
Guilty what?
So,
crown or
like,
crime?
Crown.
Yeah. Like okay.
But I love this anime. Like I have really fond memories of it, and it probably is reviewed terribly.
You know what? I want to give a PSA out. There's a dude from the Discord. His I don't mean to shout you out, but this is very important. King Lion O'Flox is what you go by. Don't think I don't see you, buddy. Comment below if you know that anime that David just said, because that dude, I feel like you guys would be absolutely best friends, at least when it comes to anime, because that man is an anime buff. He is all about that anime. And my boy David here, he about that life. Let me tell you something. He about that life. I
think we've talked about this before, either on one of the Bro Loves or something, or just personally. Like, if I had to pick between never playing another video game again or never watching anime again, it's anime hands down. I'd keep. Anime.
I know. You don't gotta.
Yeah.
You don't gotta tell me. He's literally that meme that I saw one time where it was like a guy and a girl on a date, and the guy, I think the girl said like, "What do you like to do?" or something like that. I do for fun or whatever. And he goes like, "Oh, I like anime," and she's like, "Oh, cool." And then he's like, it zooms on his face and he's like, "No, I like anime." And then she's like, "Oh," because she understood. That's this guy. Anyways, with that out of the way, we'll move on to our main story of this not story, but main topic of this podcast. And last week we dabbled with a little bit of controversy, dabbled with a little bit of sensitive subjects here, and we're going to keep that.
Not on the same scale.
Not with sexual misconduct, though. Yeah, not with sexual misconduct, but something controversial.
I don't think we should. We should compare sexual harassment.
We're not comparing.
We're not
DLC
comparing practices.
Okay,
they are not on the same level.
I'm just saying they're both controversial, but they're both controversial. I'm not saying they are. He's trying to think I am. I'm not. Listeners, I'm talking to you.
Is this the racist thing all over again?
All I'm saying
from last episode.
No, it's just they're both controversial, and we're just dictating on controversial things, regardless of what weight they may carry. Anyways, today I thought we'd talk about microtransactions and DLC,
and to
and
add
for two
on
reasons. One,
to add on to
because that was
that
actually
too, because it's and we can talk about this, but the evolution of both of those things is live service games.
that's oh bro, I think we
It's
should
not
no
though.
that's a
It's
separate
very
thing.
connected.
That's a separate. But it is connected, but it's become its own beast, and I feel like that we could go a whole nother episode
Maybe we
podcast
should,
on
but we
just
definitely
that.
need to talk because
Honestly,
it's the evolution of those two things.
okay, it'll come up. It'll come up, yes, but I feel like we should another time dedicate some time to live service, because that is a whole nother can of worms right in itself. Anyways, there's two reasons. One, because we actually did a bro love on this a long time ago, so I figured why not just repurpose that to this podcast. And two, because David and I both have opinions on it, and some of them might be hot takes, some of them might not be, but I'd love to talk about it and provide possibly a different perspective that is different than the usual perspectives and opinions people normally give. So anyways, so everyone knows DLC, downloadable content, has been around since the PS3 360 era. Well, yeah, as DLC as we know it has. Expansions have been around since the PC era of games, but those are usually separate whole standalone releases, so they don't really count. And the microtransactions probably haven't really surfaced since probably in the last 5 years or so, 5-6 years, I would say, probably when they started getting really prevalent. I think they were in some of the later PS3 360 era games, but like they weren't really. We just thought of it as just like, oh, just like a little extra
mini
purchase or something.
It was really just like mini $1 to $2 DLCs is what I saw it as.
They actually were technically microtransactions. That's probably where it gets its name from. So DLC is a console, I think, born thing. Microtransactions have actually been on the mobile scene much longer than they were on the console scene, and then they got transferred over to consoles once the big publishers and developers started realizing how much money they made from mobile gamers and thought that they can transition it. Just keep making the visuals for the fans, or for the watchers here. They thought that they could make a lot of money transitioning that practice to console games. So that's like a brief history of it. Now let me just start off. I guess we can start off with our opinions on them. I'll go first. And I've said this before on the deals on our Bro Love, and I haven't changed my opinion. As far as DLC is concerned, not microtransactions, DLC is concerned, I don't think it is a problem at its core. I still feel that way, because game development can't go on forever on a game. There has to be a point in time where a game has to be done, has to go gold, has to be finished to ship out. But sometimes there's things that developers wish they could have put into the game that they couldn't for whatever reason, usually because of time restraints, because publishers need a game to get out a certain time, they have to meet that goal, and then sometimes they have to make compromises. DLC, at least in its infancy, the idea of it was to just allow a smaller, like a small, somewhat small extension of a game's lifespan that could give you extra content to play a game you already had a lot of fun playing. Like my earliest days of DLC was with MotorStorm, the first one. The game in itself was very good. It was a $60, in my opinion, worthy $60 game at the time. It was amazing. It was very streamlined. You just play races and you win. But like that was really fun. And then the DLC allowed you to, gave you extra single player content to do, and you can unlock more cars, and you got extra tracks to play in if you wanted to do, co-op, 2-player play or whatever. So it was a game I was already playing, and the DLC allowed me to extend my time with the game that I wouldn't have had otherwise. And when you look at it in that lens, that's kind of why I still think DLC at its core is not a problem. It has become a problem because it has been abused and almost bastardized to what it was supposed to be. And I absolutely understand people's problems with it and why people think it sucks, because a lot of DLC, even if it is single player DLC, ends up being pretty garbage, not that great, half baked. A lot of the times, like they were just scrambling for ideas rather than like something that you could tell clearly they gave a lot of time to. You've seen it all across the board, all types of games. Excuse me. And so there's more bad examples than there are good examples. And so I understand your plight, but I still think that DLC at its core is not that much of a problem. It just has become one. And as far as microtransactions are concerned, I mean, this David might feel the same way. I mean, I have a hot take on it. You know, it's I get it. I get why it exists. I do feel they are taking advantage a little too much of people with how much they're willing to spend. But as a business major and a business minded individual, I can't necessarily fault them on it because, I mean, it is true. It is hard to do, but it is true when people say, like, you know, you vote with your wallet, per se, you know, and it's as long, I think you said this before a lot of times too. If people keep buying, they're going to keep selling it to you. If we keep buying the stuff, they're going to keep selling it, you know. And I understand sometimes they put those things behind, you know, assets that actually will, like, unless you have it, you can't even play the game, and that's something entirely different, and that's something I don't condone. But as a whole, like for like Fortnite or other battle royales or like other multiplayer shooter games, if it's not needed, whatever then, honestly. So that's my opening thoughts on it.
Yeah, so
What are
like
yours, David?
DLC, I'm fine with, like you said, in its essence, just the additive feature, I'm totally cool with. You have things like, you have great examples like the story DLC to Skyrim. You have the Dragonborn DLC. You have the Vampire DLC. Just extra aspects of that game. You have the extra DLC for Fallout and 3 in New Vegas. You even have, like, back in the day for like Battlefield, like the season passes for Battlefield and getting new maps, and stuff like that. I was totally fine with. I think when it comes to DLC, um, the only thing that we got into uh, kind of a gray area or issue with in DLC before it transitioned to microtransactions was locked, like, DLC, as far as like, if you did not get the map pass, you could only play with people who also did not get the map pass. So it essentially made you get the map passes if you wanted to continue playing those games. Also, you have weird one-offs. I mean, this wasn't too prevalent, but you have weird one-offs like Asura's Wrath, which literally told you, hey, this isn't the ending. To get the ending, you have to buy the DLC. Like you could argue, like, DLCs like the first DLC or the last DLC, one of the two, to Fallout 3, that continues after the ending of the game, is technically the true ending.
Was that Brother?
Yes, Brotherhood of Steel.
Brotherhood of Steel?
You could argue that that's the true ending, so you had to pay for the true ending too, but you weren't told that, hey, we have, you know, that's not the real ending, you know. But so, like, little things like that. But really, it's just, I think with DLC, it's just the problem was mainly in shooters not being able to play if you didn't get the season pass with everybody else. I think right now, like, I can't remember the last time there was story DLC for a large game. Like, it's been forever, because you have things like season passes and microtransactions and games as a live service that are taking over. Like, I think there was DLC, there was store DLC for Fallout 4, I think. Yes. Yeah, there was store DLC for Fallout 4.
Yeah,
Far Harbor.
Far Harbor, bro. Yeah, which is apparently that was like the really big one, and also
Nuka World, it was pretty good.
I heard was also
and then you have, I think Borderlands 3 also has some story DLC as well.
Borderlands 3, yeah, they have I think older DLC is,
so there's a
story,
few,
or like, but like
there's a
Borderlands
few,
DLC
but
has always
like
been
Red Dead Redemption, no story DLC, only updates for the online. Same with Grand Theft Auto. Games that like, for Red Dead Redemption, for instance, like, everybody was like, oh, dude, no, would be really cool store DLC, being able to play as that girl that was in your group, and everybody was like, oh yeah, it's absolutely going to happen. And then they were like, oh yeah, we're not doing any store DLC. How do you not do story DLC for one of the best single player story campaigns ever? Like in like what pissed me off was like not just that idea, but also they did the zombie DLC for the first Red Dead, which was incredibly well received, and it would have been a no brainer to do a zombie DLC for Red Dead 2, but they don't because that's not where the money is.
Yeah, they're not going to get a. You got to look. You look at Red Dead,
Yeah,
which came out 2019. Yeah, 2019. Red Dead Redemption 1 came out 2010. And how different of a
yeah,
climate this gaming universe is in, right? The returns on I mean, the only issue I could think of is that everyone at Take Two was thinking that if we did this, I mean, yeah, I would have got a lot of good positive feedback, a lot of good fanfare, which, okay, yeah, that's good PR. I mean, that's good, but they probably imagined the return on
yeah.
it just wouldn't be there, like how it would how you had more of a chance for getting a return with the Undead Nightmare DLC back in 2010. But now it's like, you know, I mean, the amount of money it
Oh
cost
yeah,
to make Red Dead Redemption 2 as a whole just by itself was stupid, right? Stupid. Before you even consider the marketing, just the development cost was just stupid. And if we expect anything of the same quality that Undead Nightmare brought for Red Dead Redemption 2, it's going to cost a good
yeah,
fraction of that general cost for the rest of the game. And it's like,
yeah.
are the
Like
returns good enough?
as a
Would we actually
business
get people to
as
just
a
play it
business
or
person,
buy
I
that?
understand why story DLC has gone away. I get it. Um, as a gamer, it sucks because we are missing
Oh
these
yeah,
kinds of things.
it
We have
sucks.
these
It's
games
terrible.
that as single player games we want to live on and keep playing them, but you're just not going to see that anymore. If you know, yeah,
Not much. We'll have to see what happens. I mean, because we everything
true.
a lot of business practices work
They
in
have to find a
cycles.
way to monetize it
And
better.
maybe there'll
So
be maybe. Oh, I know they'll have to find some way, but I imagine in some
I
fashion
think
it
what we'll
might
see,
show itself
and
back up
again, this
again.
is like you said, maybe for another topic, but I think there hasn't been a single player game as a live service that's worked yet. Um, Anthem was terrible.
Yeah,
The
no, not at
divisions
all.
have been okay.
Those have been
Marvel
meh
was
at
a
best.
train wreck. I think
He was let
eventually
down.
they'll
Yeah, he
figure
was let down.
that out. Single player ish. Maybe multiplayer too, but something you can play alone that is a game of the live service. I think that's where you'll see the story, continue. Um, it
That
does.
does kind of mesh the two. It does give you extra single player content that essentially
Well,
works
and
as
the way that
DLC
the
in a
live
way.
service
Um,
works too, and I haven't even talked about microtransactions yet, is that there are microtransactions worked into the live service that keeps you playing the game. So the live service keeps you get the content coming, keeps you playing the game, and then the microtransactions are what they make the money off of because you're constantly in the game buying new outfits, buying new whatevers. Um, but on microtransaction notes, I'm again we're thinking the same way. Is like as long as it isn't game affecting, performance affecting, I don't care. Um, I, I think outfits are cool. Like when I play Apex, I've spent a little bit of money to get that outfit for Octane that I always wanted. Um, I would probably, if I had a little extra money, I'd pay for his heirloom because those are dope. Um, so long as they're not one advertised as like they need to be advertised as gambling or like show your odds for getting things because kids need protection and stuff like that. They are.
which they're starting to do
Yeah,
now.
they've been sued too many
They are
times now
starting
too.
to do that, which is good.
Yeah.
Oh, I know it's
Um,
been hilarious
so
to
yeah,
watch
I'm
those
okay with
watch that happen.
microtransactions.
It
It's
was the
just
best
that
thing ever.
we as gamers need to understand that these are companies, these are businesses that are looking to make money. They're not making games because they love games. They're making games because they need money. Or they want money. Now the developers, there's still some love passion work going on there, but um, or am I doing it the other way around? Producers, developers. Okay.
No, yeah, you have it
And
right.
then the
You have it right.
producers are the
Developers are the
ones that
ones
need
with
the
the
money,
passion. They're the one
or
making
again,
it.
not need, want the money. So, but yeah, as long as it's not, affecting gameplay, I'm fine with microtransactions.
Yeah. I mean, well, developers do too, to a certain point, because like at the end of the day, it's not
Yeah,
the publisher that's
yeah.
going to get
So
shut
they
down.
need to
It's just going to
make
be the developing studio that gets shut
some
down.
money back.
You know, and so, and that's the big thing. People, I mean, I get it. Like Dave and I, we're still humans. We get it. Like why? Because everyone, we all hate them. You know, why they're not consumer friendly? Because a lot of times they're not. A lot of times they are predatory. A lot of times they make it almost, play to win, which is never fun. And that's something I don't think either one of us advocates at all. But if it's just there as just like extra skins or just a boost, extra little booster or something like that, whatever. Because I think Uncharted 2 had those kind of things as well way back in the day. You
XP
could buy like extra little
boosters
like
and stuff.
small little buffs. Yeah, something like that. That did cost money, yes, but like you didn't need it. Like with Crash Bandicoot, Crash Team Racing. I know they said they weren't going to do it, and then they did it like a month later, and they were technically still being truthful. But that's beside the point. I spent a lot of money on that game. I did because it's Crash, and I just wanted to have all the fucking skins. You know, I didn't buy it with the intention of like, you know, of like um like I'm gonna be a better player. It's just I love Crash. I wanted to keep playing Crash, and I liked having the skins to to freshen things up. Now I understand the argument of like um, well, first of all, there's the argument of like a very us boomers, we want to talk and be like, back in my day, all the like the entire game was in the game. You didn't need it, and they didn't hold back a bit of the game to charge you later a second time. Touche. But the thing is, nowadays development, like I said earlier, development has to stop eventually, and they can only put so much into a game. It's not very often when a game gets to be able to be delayed over and over again, so that they can have every single thing that they wanted to have in the game. That's very rare when that happens. So it has to stop eventually, and there's some things
And
that they're going to
I
have to
think
just charge later.
I think the
And
caveat
it's
to
like
that.
sometimes. Hold on. It, and when it comes to things like cosmetics or skins or little things like that, I mean, touche again. Yeah, you could do the right thing or the better thing, and just like be like, hey, here's these extra skins that you can buy, and I'm not buy, but they're just here, free update. Here you go. And I mean, I get that, but at the same time, it's like it does take a lot more work than you think it does to create a proper functioning, working, even just a costume or a skin. You got to have a designer, you got to have a sketcher, you got to have a concept artist, you got to have all these things, and you have a programmer to put it in the game. It doesn't. It's not just like it's done in a day. It takes a little bit of time to do something like that. And like there needs to be a return on everything that you do, because studio development is very very expensive, and you got to justify a cost. And payroll is one of the biggest costs for any business to have. So you got to have a justification for every little thing that you do, for any kind of cost you incur. So if you can't explain it, if it's just because, just for goodwill, well, all right, well, just good luck explaining that to to the publisher, who has to take off, who's really holding up the bottom line for this game, and that's just where the clash comes in, that I don't think people really think about, which I get, but if once you do, things become a little bit more easier to
Yeah,
swallow.
so I think that
Now you-
like your point that the development has to end, and that's where we get some DLC. I am like, my only caveat to that would be that if it was clearly DLC that they could have put on the original game, like day one DLC, which used to be a big thing back in the day. You know, yeah,
Oh, I remember that.
yeah.
Mass Effect 3 had
So
that.
day
That
one
was some
DLC
controversy
stuff
too.
like that.
I remember
Like
that.
if it's done and ready for the game, especially if it's integral to the storyline or something like that, or adds to it. Because I think Mass Effect 2 was like a character that you had to, that was day one DLC. I think so.
Oh,
Three or
number
two,
2
one
had
of
that as
them.
well? I thought only 3 had the day 1 DLC, but I
Yeah,
know what deals. I know that was Zaid, but I don't know that was
yeah.
a day
It
1
was
character, because I didn't
he
have it
was a
on
day one
Xbox.
character,
Like we
or
got
like a
it a year later.
almost like it was like
Was he?
super
I know Javik was a day 1 character for Mass Effect 3.
Prothean.
That
Yeah.
Prothean or whatever that race was called, that ancient race.
Either way,
Yeah,
either way,
I
what I
know. I
mean
think
is
he was a
like
day
if
one
it's day
DLC.
one or like, you know, there's no development time, like it was definitely done. Like, you know, I don't like that. But yeah, like you said, you know, this is a money making business. We have to give um, some clements to publishers and developers that they need to make their money back. Um, you know, we love this industry. We love playing games. You know, without these things, you know, they're gonna find a way to make their money. So like it's either this or something else. Um, so I think as long as they're not predatory, as long as they're not game affecting, I'm fine with it. I like um, how geez, Apex does their stuff. So like you can earn everything to get all the costumes, all the gun skins in game. It takes forever. Um, and like, but I think I've unlocked 2 epic skins, and like for my characters, and a handful of epic gun skins just by playing, just by lucking into it. Um, you know, but yeah, I bought a few. Um, you know, but it's at least doable. Um, so like that's a good concept of it. You know, MLB The Show does it too, where just by playing you get points. When I play through a couple seasons just on the season mode, I'll have enough to buy like 50 packs of cards after a while, um, for their other game modes and stuff like that. So I don't know, like I said, as long as it's not predatory, as long as it's not game affecting, as long as you don't have to do it to continue. I like the season passes, or the whatever they're calling them now, where it's like for a month or whatever, and then by playing Battle Pass, thank you. You
Is
know,
it Battle Pass? Battle Pass, which I still don't even.
it's
Since I don't play
basically like
shooters,
you
I still don't
gain,
even
so you gain
understand
access to the Battle
what
Pass,
those are.
and in that month there are like level goals, and you get certain amount of XP for, um, you know, playing the game, and then if you do all 100 levels, you get like a special skin at the end or something like that. Yeah, and there's bonuses for playing,
Oh,
you know, every day or whatever too. So
oh, I get it now. 'Cause I remember back my Battlefield Hardline, I think, started that trend, or one of the first ones, and I was like, "What's a Battle Pass?
yeah,
Is that different than the Season
yeah,
Pass? Because you have that too." It's like I get the Season
well,
Pass. What the heck is
and
this
again,
Battle Pass? Because I don't play
they're
shooters. I'll have
like
to admit, this
they're
is I don't
figuring
know.
stuff out, because you're right. Like there was a point where there was a season pass for the maps, and then there was like a battle pass or something else, or other microtransactions that were also available. A lot of these companies now, um, you know, Battlefield, Call of Duty, uh, Apex, all of their map updates are free. Um, but then their battle passes and skins and
Hmm.
stuff are what you pay for. So there was a, you know, at the beginning of all this, of the battle pass and microtransaction phase, they were kind of like trying to hang on to both worlds. And then they realized, okay, microtransactions and battle passes are way more profitable. And for the consumers to be okay buying that, we need to give up, you know, season passes, um, which they did. I can't think of another game that has a season pass, um, of a shooter. No.
I mean, and
Yeah.
not an online game. Not an online game. No, no, not at all.
Yeah.
Because they're still playing single player games.
Borderlands
I think
did
that
for
still
sure.
have season passes. But I will say also, on top of that, um, they also realized, because like you said earlier, everyone who played Modern Warfare 2 or any of those Call of Duty games, you remember that if you didn't buy the season pass, like you said, they basically split the player base between those that did have it and those that didn't have it. You know, and they realize that if we just send all the perhaps the match for free, we're not going to split the player base and make people give them a reason to leave the game. Because if they leave the game, then they're not possibly buying anything in the game, which is the end goal. So if you don't split the player base, you don't create any of this distrust or like just these dissension, and people will still play the game. I want to add another point to what you said as well. If I may, kind of as we kind of close up here and kind of, I guess, tease the live service conversation that we will inevitably have. The reason why David talks about Apex without much of a problem, as because and kind of why you don't really hear Apex in the news that often when it comes to like MTX problems or anything like that. And the point is that at least Apex Legends is a phenomenal game. There's a phenomenal game behind, the microtransactions that they're asking from you. And I remember talking about this before in our Brolos for live service, is that the problem, like you said, they haven't done it right. But not only have they not done the live service model right, they haven't, like, the games themselves, they don't come out that good. Destiny didn't come out that good. Division didn't come out that good. For Honor didn't come out that good. Evolve was garbage, through and through. And then we got Wildlands didn't really work out too well at all. Any of the Tom Clancy games haven't done it at all. And then we had Anthem, and then we had latest with Marvel's Avengers. The thing that all these games have in common is that at least when they get launched initially, they're like half baked at best. So it's like not like it's almost like, how dare you ask me for any extra money when you couldn't even give me the $60 or whatever money it was I spent initially for the main game itself. If they could come out with a game that is the quality of like an Apex, or people might not like to hear it, but like a Fortnite, it has to be good for a reason, right? People play it for a reason, or one of those games, because like at least like the game is good. The game gives you a reason to come back to. So it's like it creates less of a problem, less of a haggle for you to possibly spend some extra money. You may still not.
So
but
one
at the very least,
that
the games
I think
are good behind
you can
it.
kind of look to, that didn't start out as a game as a live service, but has kind of transitioned into that, is Minecraft. They are constantly coming out with
Is it a live service?
Updates, new blocks, new game modes, to continuously keep it fresh and keep people coming back. And it's a good game.
Or there's this Vanishcraft thing that I've been seeing.
I don't even know. Like, there's so many
updates
and stuff for Minecraft. Like, I don't even know. Like, no, like, I haven't played the game in forever. Like, I like vanilla Minecraft. Like, I'm good with that. But like, yeah.
Oh, look at this boomer here from 2009. Hey, look at them. Oh, I like my OG Minecraft. All you had was adventure mode. And what was the other one? Endless mode? What were the modes? Like, what were the two of them?
When it launched on the 360, there was no creative mode. It was just adventure mode. Like, just adventure mode. No creative mode.
It was just adventure mode?
No, I played.
I thought there was always adventure and create mode or whatever.
Like, probably 3 months worth of just adventure mode, because that was all we had, and it was probably the most fun I've ever had in that game. Like,
but was it that was it that long?
No, there was no.
I'm pretty sure you guys probably beat it, didn't you?
Mm-mm. There was.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the Ender Dragon. I thought
there was like a goal. You like beat up a dragon or something. That wasn't in their initial.
You just.
So then,
like,
what happens in adventure mode? It's called adventure for a reason.
Mobs. You can die.
Okay, I never played Minecraft in my life, and it was interesting to me. I just know about it because how can you not? So I have no. My younger brother, played the crap out of Minecraft. I think he still might play it. But like, bro, that's like one of the biggest things to play on YouTube nowadays. Play Minecraft. Make sure you don't swear. Yeah, you'll get all the kids in. Bam, any of the famous. Whatever, man. Just play. Like, just sometimes just play. That's all it takes. Just play. Kind of be funny, and you're done. Where's my money, please? I'll take my check in the mail. So, anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
But again, Minecraft is a good game. Like, it's not a game for me at all.
Forever.
But it's a good game. How can it not be? It's been around.
Like, we were in high school.
11 years.
We were in high school when it came out.
2 generations ago. Yeah, no, we were in high school. Maybe some of you guys might have even been young, middle school or something. Like it's been around for a long. And how many games can say that they've been able to stay this long and not like it's still you go buy Minecraft.
I literally
go buy Minecraft at any
one
store,
of my
any system.
going.
It's still amazing.
It was during the little like meetup before class. How everybody's like in the lunchroom. Like that's where we were.
Oh, the
no, just like before school,
the periods in between classes.
Everybody gathered in the lunchroom.
Before school starts.
The main
before
hall.
school starts. Okay.
And I remember one of my friends had his laptop.
Yeah.
Like busty old like iMac or something. Yeah, and
gosh, was this a 2008 laptop?
And he had Minecraft.
Oh gosh,
it
weighed like 30 pounds.
Is this game like? Why is it all like blocky and shit? And he's just like. Yeah, he's just like,
blocky and shit.
He was like literally playing the beta of Minecraft. Like, it was before it officially released. Like, that was like my freshman year or something. Ridiculous.
Yeah. You see what I mean? Like, it's been around for a long, like, that goes to say how good the game is, which, again, proves the point of, like, if you make a good game, if you have a solid foundation of a game, then I mean, you can still argue whether or not it's good to have microtransactions, but it's like it's a easier pill to swallow when the core game at itself.
I'll spend money on a game I'm really having fun with. Like that's why I spent
all I'm saying.
Money on Apex.
Yeah, that's why you spend a lot on Apex. That's why I spent a lot of money on Crash, because the games in themselves, at least to us,
like I even spent money on
really good.
I've even spent some money
I'm
on
happy, and I'll
Fallout Shelter. Because like that was a pretty good game. Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Yeah. Oh, Shelter, yeah, Fallout Shelter. Yeah, that was a solid game too. No one got mad about that game's microtransactions, like at all.
Yeah,
I don't remember anyone being pissed about them. Like maybe here and there, but like as a whole, no one really said shit because I was like the game was freaking fantastic. So it's like, I will buy spend $5 to buy whatever.
The main thing in that game was getting special characters, which
buy
was
whatever,
next to impossible. You got like one special character for free, and then it was next to impossible to find another one. It was like a 1 in 1,000 chance.
But true. At least the game is still hella fun. So it's like, all right, I'll give you $5 to buy an extra character. Not a big deal when you're having fun. Because you're having positive feelings. Positive neurons are going on, everything's happy, and you're like, oh yeah, I'll spend $5. Not a big deal. But if the game was shit, and it's like, you're gonna ask me for $5? Well, you can kiss my ass, game. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. If there's trophies, I'm gonna do that. But I'm stupid, so don't listen to me. But yeah, that's a little teaser to when we talk about live service, because that's kind of the essence of my argument on it. But anyways, that's gonna wrap up this episode here, guys. You guys may disagree with our takes on them. You guys just meet cold, just for the consumer, kind of like Angry Joe is. He's just not about MTXs at all. And so, you guys just might be hard staunch and just like, you know what, I just don't want them in my games. Whatever, call me boomer, I don't care, and that's fine. I get it. The non-business brain of me understands your plight, and so does David. But you guys might agree with our stance. You guys might have a stance all different altogether. Let us know what you guys think about it. We'd be interested to hear. Some of you guys have actually been commenting below before, and I feel something on something like this, there's a lot to talk about. A lot of people have different opinions. And DLC's been around for a long time, like we said. MTXs are still kind of relatively new, but have made a huge impact across so many games. So everyone has an opinion. Let's hear yours. With that, we're gonna wrap up this episode here.
Well,
next time.
That's what I was about to say. Like
mystery.
Since you guys are listening,
but,
since you're hopefully enjoying it, if you want us to talk about anything, we should do some commenters additions. So like if you have an idea for if you have
he's pulling a straight out of outside Xbox right now, guys, just so you know. And
if you want,
what culture gaming right here.
If you want us to talk about something you think that it would be interesting to talk about something, leave it in the comments below. We'll look through those and we'll pick it and we'll give you a shout out and everything.
Yeah, if it's a big one, if it's something we think has a lot of merit and a lot of meat to it, absolutely we will. And also, if there's ever a time where like David, just because he's a busy learning boy, with his Apple and everything. if there's ever a time where he knows he can't make it, I might give a shout out to one of you guys to see if you guys want to.
It'd be fun.
Be a special guest for an episode once or twice. I have absolutely no problem with that. I would actually love to, I guess collab, but whatever. It's more like you're a guest. I'd love to have any guests on my show. Not my show. It's your show, really. On our show, on the podcast here. To give a different perspective altogether, different than what David and I normally talk about. Because
we need to find something that we're not.
Things, especially when it gets busy.
We need to find something that we're not.
So it'd be different to hear someone has a totally different opinion. Hey man, we don't align on games, so you give some, you get some. Anyways, let's wrap up this episode here, guys. Thank you for watching. Please share it with anybody. Please share it with your friends, family. Share it with your boss. Tell them that we're smart. We want to work. We want to work for them. Yeah, especially David. He needs a job. So he'll need a job after he's done with school. So we'll see you guys next time. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.